Noxious gases engulfing the carcasses of yesterday's civilization, suffocating the living and the dead alike. Change is a constant burden to the complacent of Chenaris, but some things never change. Nature wants you dead, the undead want fed, and bandits want my head. This is the story of the Topolniki terrorists, our rise and their demise. He just tried to throw a grenade in the front door. I spooked him. I think he just blew himself up. I'm pretty sure he blew himself up. Yep, he blew himself up. I was sick of these sarca-saddled scoundrels, and they'd be back again. I knew where they were, headed for our base at 70 kilometers per hour. This time, instead of cowering in dreaded anticipation of another raid, I'd be lying in wait for a counter ambush. I packed my pockets with everything I'd need to construct a crude roadblock that would slow them down just long enough for me to roll out my one-man massacre, and grabbed a mask in case the toxic shelling struck near Topolniki whilst I awaited their impending arrival. It was them. I had only completed about half of the roadblock and they'd stumbled onto me in the act. I rushed upstairs to the high ground for the best vantage point, certain they'd stop and investigate the incongruous contraption. I just missed them. True to their nature, they had slithered through like the serpents that they were. For a moment, I felt defeated, but it quickly passed. Their curiosities would consume them. They'd be back, and likely soon. I deployed a few fish traps to sustain my stomach for the stay, and baited them. There were plenty of bitterlings and carp to catch here. Next, I shredded some clothing for rope and crafted enough tripwire traps to safely secure the high ground and surrounding buildings from an undetectable entry. My fish traps had proven fruitful. Consuming the hot fillets had kept me warm throughout the bitter night. I took up a superior position, dug in for the duration, and waited anxiously for their return. They were back to investigate, Just as I had suspected, I had only landed a couple of shots before being clipped in my arm by counter sniper fire. But a ranged gun battle wasn't my intention. They now knew my location. My web had been spun. Though my elevated position was advantageous in this fight, I was having trouble getting angles around the narrow windows. I needed to down their grenadier and fast to end the explosive bombardment to prevent them from ruining my tripwires. I huddled against an interior wall to protect myself from grenade shrapnel and gunfire. 1 down and 3 to go. By this point, it looked like the boys and I would be eating well tonight. 3 down, 1 to go. I couldn't believe it. I'd killed their most geared member with a well-placed tripwire trap. That was their entire crew dead. The only problem I had now was figuring out what to do with all of the loot. I found their car stashed and loaded it with the spoils of war. A full tank of gas and a fresh battery will get me back home to base in no time. I have missed Chenaris and all that she gives. This fight was well worth the work it took to scavenge the supplies to build that roadblock. I had toppled the Topolniki terrorists for now. 4 geared bloodthirsty gunmen against Archie Stormcloud? Hell, that's almost fair. Almost.